When I awoke the following morning, Susato-san was already gone. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. Hey everyone, we're back with more Grade Ace Attorney Chronicles, Case 5. April 17th, 9:30 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Hey Gina. Oh, I see you have the overcoat off. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So where's your friend then? Sorry? You know, wearing the fancy dress. Susato, or however you say it, I don't know. Mrs. Sato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You're all up with that, are ya? Forget about me if you like. Come and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Miss Susato and I won't meet again. One day. And before that's foreshadowing and she ends up being, like, we find out she's dead in the second game. Even so. But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two. Had a feeling. You brought Wagahi? How are you feeling, Guinea? Did you manage to sleep? Meow. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Meow. Kitty. Oh, and he's gone. Ah, Waggy! Great way to show your support, Kitty. That's a new animation for Iris. Let him have a nose around. What harm can it do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. What's it say? Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Bruno, Guinea? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. Nah, I always take the good news first. I might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? The bad news was a weather report? So I hope that Susie made her train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? I couldn't give a monkeys, really. Only all good news cancels out the bad. And look, this trial has made the headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick-purse plunder, see? How do you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See if I care. I can't because you're covering your face. Don't worry, Runa will soon show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will. And then in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be Discharged divers don't less do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno? Oh, yes. Let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. Even if a guinea doesn't. How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Today's paper. What do we got? Is it time to answer? Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can. Huh? Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. Excuse me? I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. Are you gonna be like a judicial assistant stand-in? I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Guinea? Well, I was wondering is all about Sholmes. Did they fix him up alright? Yes, the operation was a great success. But it really still hasn't come around yet. Oh sure, like we didn't see him talking to Susato last night. Eh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard. Oh wait, sorry. To send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. Got my accents mixed up for a second there. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Susato-san and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. I mean, you have Iris, too. Do I have any funny voices I can do for the bailiff?
Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom.
It's time then. Yes, let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Bruno. In we go. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. Miss you, buddy. April 17th, 10 a.m. on the dot. The Old Bailey courtroom. Whoa.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
Big shocker that he's here.
The prosecution is ready.
The defense is ready.
Lord Van Sykes. My lord. Remind me, how many years was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service?
It was some 5 years ago, my lord.
Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government.
Really?
Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel.
There are two types of persons I cannot abide. Firstly, there is the wealthy scoundrels who hide beneath a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. Man, I wonder who he's referring to on that. It's not like we know anyone like that. He means Mr. McGildy, who defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. What is the other type gonna be, Soseki? Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I would have never defended him.
And secondly, even more loathsome. Those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese.
What? Did you really just say that? He means you now, Reno. I actually managed to work that out too, thank you, Iris. Total betrayal, what are you talking about?
I don't need to speak to you.
But we're not in a summation examination. You're allowed to speak. A torrid look of hatred in Von Zyke's eyes. Was that directed solely at me, or was he talking about all Japanese people?
An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zykes. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors.
Can't wait for him to...
Your lordship is too kind.
I should try counting how many freaking chalices and bottles he throws.
Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant?
Well, we know 4 of these... Wait. That's the old man from case 4. What? He's a doctor? You're telling me that old senile man is a doctor? Also, I noticed that frickin' Mr. Garritup is the first one. I mean, we did see him in a witness, in a juror seat at the end of trial 4. It was only very briefly. The second one is the maid from case 3. I don't think we've seen the 3rd dude before. That's the 5th. Juror number 5 is the lady from case 3, but she seems to be... She doesn't have a typewriter this time. She has, like, headphones on. And then... Wait a second. That 6th guy. Isn't that the freaking villain Bolshevik dude? Like, didn't we hear about him from Sholmes in case 2, and it was part of, like, the deductions? Okay, let's go on.
Former lieutenants in the British Army here, don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready.
Why are you blushing? Oh my god, he's looking at the maid. My god. This dude has a maid fetish. Oh my god, I didn't... Okay, so I guess anyone that dresses in a maid outfit has his attention. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Oh man. Oh, this guy's a freaking stereoscope nut. What type of voice do I give this nerd? Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything, and I'm ready for it.
I don't understand it. I can't even let you in here. It's not possible we could have.
Woman indispensably in society, stop. Female-centric future awaits, stop. She's using Morse code? I can tell this... Okay, I guess she works first a typewriter and now she's doing Morse code. Also, I completely forget the voice I gave this woman, so sorry about that. Oh boy. Oh god. I have to give him like an accent. Villain Bolshevik. Do I have to do a Russian accent again? Oh no. Thought we were past this.
Good day, I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please.
Fucking... This man wants to freaking blow up the Crystal Tower and he's just somehow a freaking juror. Is something wrong, Reno? Oh, not exactly, it's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. You notice all but one of them. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? It's almost like the game didn't have enough budget to make so many models. But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know? So I've been led to believe. Something tells me I'm being duped. I wonder.
Very well. Now, Lord Van Zykes. The court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Winterbank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene.
He dead. Oh yeah, he did.
As the court will observe, there was a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death.
Near instant? That means he couldn't move after he died!
No. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory.
What's that supposed to tell us? I'm guessing that means that it was fired from below him?
It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself.
It was McGilded. He's still alive. He didn't burn in the omnibus. It was all a ploy for him to fake his own death. And he's alive. That's why he died by fire, because the charred corpse, they couldn't tell if it was him or not. So he just placed some of his own belongings on the corpse and said, yeah, this'll work. Yeah, this'll work.
Someone like the accused, you might say.
Oh! Oh! Beep, 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 beep.
The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please.
The autopsy report has been entered into the court record, as usual. And the crime scene photograph as well.
Now, I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred.
Yep, that do be the plan of the place.
The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. The victim, Mr. Winterbank, and the accused.
Damn. Is that dude just doing... Was villain Bolshevik just praying there? You know, it's funny how he has glasses. If he was doing... Man could easily do the Gendo pose.
It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet.
Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway?
She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums in the East End.
Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she had blood on her hands then. What are those jurors waiting for? That girl's guilty as hell. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she does to survive. Oh, here's the first glass.
My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution is barely beyond presenting its case.
Menacing music.
Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses.
Ah, right.
Good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pickpurse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth.
She does not look impressed.
The court will take the floor plan and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zykes. At once, my lord.
Crime scene floor plan has been entered. And the revolver. Signs of a single discharge. This isn't good. Feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Bruno. I think that's because it has. Damn, you're already taking it off? Chill, man. It's only been like... We haven't even been in the trial for 10 minutes.
Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Winterbank on 16th April of this year.
Okay, we're finally getting to see these dudes. Oh my god. It's Mario and Luigi!
Witnesses, state your names and occupation for the court.
Oh my god.
Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is baddie. Professional baddie.
I'm definitely using the frickin' Mario and Luigi Super Show voices for this. Oh my god. Nash Skulkin. Skulkin. I'm trying to think of the name puns here, because there's definitely some. Name's Ringo Skulkin. Occupation's same as him. Do the Mario!
Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right, we're what they call the Three Skulkin Brothers.
3? Gregson's just like,
I don't remember signing up for this. I wasn't a part of your gang.
listen, you don't have to be. They're just like, why didn't you do the pose?
What are you looking at me like that for? Don't let me in with you lot. Go and blame me, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through?
It's our older bruv, lost contact with him we have. So we're scouring every shady corner of the capital.
And then last night we came across you. The very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo?
He is, Nash, he is. The very spit of... Oh, I just realized, are they supposed to... Oh my god. Oh! I get the puns. Okay, it's Japanese name puns. Ringo means apple in Japanese. And, okay, let me check. Can we look at their... Oh, we have a lot of people. Nash. Here, one sec, I'm gonna look something up. Okay, I was right. This dude's name is Apple in Japanese, which I already knew. But I decided to look up this guy's name, and it means pear in Japanese. So yeah. Oh man.
So we decided there and then what we was gonna do. We was gonna call you.
Crunch. Big bruv sulky.
Come on, leave it out, you two.
Sulky Skulkin? That's before he's running out of ships.
Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias.
Yeah, same.
What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. These three? No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle, and in the course of the nefarious actions, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. Why, Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence! Indeed, my lord, while attempting to burglarize the pawnbroker, they witnessed its proprietor's murder.
Oh my god, he's standing on a box.
Order, order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Happy to.
Cause a Skulkin's never skulkin'.
Get out of it.
Oh, this is gonna be... These two are very comedic. Illegal entry.
Oh, we was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gaff's door was ajar, you see.
It was like some kind of sign. Begging for us to go in, it was.
But once we got inside, cold blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet. A terrible coincidence it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. Alright, time to look at the floor plans. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within only the victim and the accused were found. I must say it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. Counsel?
Yes. What's the matter, Bruno? Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by the pair on the stand. I know that it's all nonsense because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. This is true. We are both the lawyer of this case and also a witness ourselves. Yep. Hold it! Front door of Windibank's was ajar, you say? What time of night was this?
Must have been about 1, right, Ringo? Yeah, I'd say so. Right, Sulky. How would I know? The place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, it's true. Ain't that right, Ringo? I'm not so sure, Nash. I seem to remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker?
Leave me alone. Poor Gregson. There definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place.
And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of a gun trained on the unfortunate victim.
Objection!
This is pure conjecture.
Huh, perhaps. But it changes nothing. These brothers inadvertently wandered into the middle of a cold-blooded murder, simply because they found the door of the victim's establishment open and ventured inside. Right, that's what happened.
It was like some kind of sign. Begging for us to go in, it was.
Hold it!
What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in?
Well, God moves in mysterious ways, they say. Don't they, Ringo?
They do, Nash, they do. Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon. God's will often presents itself as the whims of thieves, does it?
It weren't no whim, I'm dead sure of that.
It weren't, Nash, it weren't. Like we said at the time.
You don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. Nah, there's no two ways about it.
It was a sign that our long-lost brother was inside. They're not very good liars, are they?
Well, you can't deny it. Let us to a bloke what looks like, just like our brother.
I said cut it out. Those chips are getting a chomping today. I mean, they are fitting in that sense. You got a dude that bites into a pear, a guy that bites into an apple, and a guy that bites into some fish and chips.
Hold it!
Number 3. A gunshot, you say? Just the one. Are you sure about that?
Yep, just the one, Governor. I can swear to it.
It wasn't, Ash, it was.
Ain't that right, bro? Firearm used belonged to the victim himself.
Yes, Mr. Windibank always used to leave his gun lying around on the counter. Right, I remember.
When we examined it.
Oh, sorry. It's the wrong voice.
When we examined it, we found the revolver was completely out of rounds.
That makes sense. Mr. Winterbank always used to say he only ever kept a single bullet loaded. That's true, I remember him saying that as well.
So we can say with considerable certainty that only a single round was discharged from the firearm used as the murder weapon.
Yes, my lord, we can. And I should remind the court that the firearm in question was discovered in the hand of the accused. Wonderful. Doing all these voices is hard. We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. Do you mean the door between the main shop and the storeroom? If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. Excluding the shop's entrance from the street, there is only one other door, that of the storeroom. Of course, there was only a little bit of lamp inside. Not much to see by. And the door was hidden behind a curtain and all.
That's right. Oh, it was. When we arrived, the door was mostly obscured by the curtain. Wait, the lamp was... Wait, the lamp was on when we arrived? Wait a second! Wait. I just came up with something. Okay, the lamp was burning when we got to the store. So... when did the lamp go out? Did the lamp go out when the gun was shot at Sholmes? Meaning that one of them was behind the counter, and the gunshot went through the lamp, and then into Sholmes, and then into the calendar. If so, I don't know what bearing that would have on the case, but if so, that could be something. Just a revelation I had. Tell me, why exactly did you try to open that door?
Eh?
Any normal petty thief would run at the sound of a gunshot, I should think.
Oh, well, your turn to rabbit, Ringo. Oh, well, Nash, yeah. I suppose you have to say we ain't normal, eh? Broadly speaking, humans respond in one of two ways on hearing a gunshot or scream, otherwise known as the fight or flight response. The timid flee gripped by fear, while the courageous investigate to see if they might help. These gentlemen are of the latter inclination, my learned Nipponese friend. It would seem is of the former. My learned Nipponese friend, it would seem, is of the former.
Alright, somehow I disproved that I was a coward that night. Why is the cat meowing?
Thank you, counsels. So I believe we all understand that the door is locked and couldn't be opened.
Let me deal with the cat. Or I think we're good.
Proceed, witnesses.
What are we on? The last statement. Nothing. We never took nothing. We just left after that nice and quiet. You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story?
Well, it was bedlam soon as, wasn't it?
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So with no time to take your hands out of your pockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say?
That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers. We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulling me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So, you'd clearly like us to believe.
Come again?
As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person?
Saints alive, they fired a gun, you say?
Yeah.
Blimey, Governor.
You ain't telling us it was you in the doorway?
It was.
Why, the bleeding Nora.
Didn't you say so sooner?
You were armed with a gun, and so you fled the scene, and as you fled the scene, you fire that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes? I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital. The great Sholmes? That's beyond the pale.
On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. The suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Oh shit. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it.
Boing, boing.
The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers.
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, counsel.
Damn.
The court will hold this weapon as evidence.
Skulkin Brothers' gun has been entered into the court record. Firearm found in the possession of the Skulkin Brothers upon their arrest. There are signs that a single round was fired. A single shot from each gun.
Now, my learned Nipponese friend,
Yes?
here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are the telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial.
Objection.
Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there.
Objection.
However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast your incompetence and move on.
Evidence that these two fired that gun before they left Windibanks that night.
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop last night?
Death due to single bullet wound. Don't need that. Maybe the blood samples? I'm gonna try it.
Take that.
The evidence is in this portfolio.
What on earth have you there, counsel?
During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of blood stains.
Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do? How arrogantly Nipponese of you.
I mean, funny you say that, considering one of them wanted to just end their shift and thus didn't say anything. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio.
And you claim to...
Oh, sorry.
And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein.
Yes, my lord.
No more dallying then, counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene?
What? Oh wow, we don't actually have the overcode in here. Name unknown. Rice fired Mason. Well, I'm pretty sure we do know this, but due to circumstances, but whatever.
Take that.
What is this? Explain.
It's a photographic print taken at Windibank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident.
From the scene of the crime, is it? Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there.
Yes, your lordship. As your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windibank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death.
The incident occurred at 1 hour before midnight. But this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th.
That's right. And while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes this is credible evidence from that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night.
Nah, no. Order. How does the prosecution stand, Lord Von Zykes?
You gonna throw your first glass? Well, you're taking a sip at least.
If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection.
What? Throw it. That's one glass down.
But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna land us in the soup. We had a deal. You weren't gonna get them into the details. Tell him, Sulky. Set the book straight.
I have nothing to add.
So he knew, did he? Van Zykes knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes.
It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zykes? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim.
Yes.
In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Winterbank at all.
So that's it. Clap. That is the worst freaking handshake of all time. They missed everything besides clapping their hands together.
And that's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it. We didn't, Ash. We didn't. That's what I reckon. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and let us not forget attempted murder.
Quite a catalog, eh, fellas?
We're in for it now, bruv. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly.
Where's he going with this? And I thought the cat was gone.
Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who? Not me, don't give me that look.
He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh! That's one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device.
Every half an hour it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed. Okay, hopefully the cat will stay quiet this time. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed.
Prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question.
That's a lot. 8 p.m. 30 p.m. A lot of pointless ones.
As the court will observe, copious identical prints are produced in a quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court to the plan of the premises, the respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I failed to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord.
Well, if they were timed differently, it could be worked down to like 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes for each camera. You know, like it alternates between them every 15, I don't know.
On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. That's a bit of Friar talk, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skulkin'. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin? It must have been after just one. Right, bruv? Must have been, Ash, must have been. Yeah, just gone one. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence.
That's not good.
Good lord! It's the defendant!
Oh no, that doesn't look good. Gina, we kind of need your testimony on what the hell this is.
Miss Gina Lestrade!
Oh, that's not good at all.
As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter, no doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom. Quite. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence. If you please, counsel.
Oh shit. I don't believe it. Guinea.
In short, the accused is the only person who could have possibly killed Mr. Winterbank.
I say, my lord. Oh, probably jurors.
Wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bally bullet to the knee in the battle of Maiwan to 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Of course, the medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading this small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. And we'll all go down together, you mark my words. One for all and all for one. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached agreement, have they?
Oh god, already?
Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
Oh shoot.
In a manner of speaking, yes. That is the Garrett Squadron's position, sir.
What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment here.
Status report for the court, men, on the double.
His lordship insists on promptitude at all times. And that goes for making decisions too.
I think you'll find the truth as clear as day now. I could reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't like to, I just wouldn't. I don't like to see a case and actually remember.
Situation clear, stop. No room for doubt, stop. Truth now and never. Undeniable, stop.
I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning on this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Uh-oh.
Guilty.
Yabe.
Guilty.
Oh no.
Guilty.
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 Guilty. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna change Bill and Bolshevik's voice.
Guilty. Guilty.
Seems to sound like a villain. It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already. That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Guinea didn't shoot him.
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well. The court grants permission. Next time on Great Ace Attorney. Adios, ciao, and bye-bye. Signing off until next time, everyone. Ja matane, as they say.